I guess staying on the timeline, Go 95 gave a lot of opportunities to the city too. That's one thing that I guess like when I came in, Go 95 was like the people to know. Like when I first started in here doing the shut up and raps, just being at like, you know, doing giveaways, being at the Target Center, Target Field, doing whatever, like, and that's when I really got to meet Twin City Tone. And he was bringing me along. I was doing camera work for him in exchange for basically being able to network with people. But one thing that I know Go 95 did that isn't really around anymore, and I haven't seen anyone replicate it, and I personally would love to like figure out a way to do it, but it's the shut up and rap events.
Oh yeah,
those were like really cool opportunities for artists, because you know eventually someone would end up winning and performing a sound set, and that's like something cool. But I guess to speak on like the Go 95 era and like everything that they had to offer for the city, everything that you were able to do with Go 95, you know.
What was dope about the shut up and rap thing? That was an idea that Mr. Peter Parker came up with, just to get the local rappers engaged and actually to make them like, you know, I don't want to say this the wrong way so that some rapper doesn't feel like, you know, a lot of people think that just because they go to the studio, they lay a record down, that it should be on the radio. And that's not exactly how it works. You know, if you don't have a following, you don't have numbers. You know, a lot of people don't understand that you got to create that wave. You know, you got to get it. And in this era, it's like popping on the gram. And what Go 95 did with local artists and stuff, that the shut up and rap was like an entry level for some local artists that maybe didn't have, maybe they weren't like Prof, maybe they weren't like Bobby Raps, maybe they weren't like Muja Messiah, people that had like these solid backgrounds and released a lot of independent music or did that, you know, so that was an entry level. And then also Go 95 provided like artist spotlights. We would let artists open up, you know, like for instance at Armory, you know, we had Schoolboy Q one time, who opened up for that Casanova. You know, there was a lot of opportunities like that. That was really dope. It was what it was, and what will be hard to duplicate is that it had a connection to community, and it felt like it was community-based, but it was a commercial radio station. We're playing commercial rap records, hip-hop, R&B records, and we're running commercials, and people are paying us for commercials. And ultimately, people always ask, like, wow, man, it was such a good thing, yo, it was so dope. Why did it go off the air? Well, it went off the air because it's a commercial radio station. And then during COVID, there was a long period. You know, they hung on for about 12, 18 months. And after a while, you know, there was no events in the commercials, and they just weren't making any money. And you know, the people that owned it, the portfolio, you know, it was a company that had a lot of other companies, and it was just like somebody looked at the numbers, and it was just like a numbers thing, you know.
Yeah, you know, you gotta cut something off. You gotta sell something for someone else to take advantage of.
It was definitely a tough blow, but you know, speaking on that era, you know, I'm proud of all the stuff we did. You know, the concerts we did at the Armory. You know, being involved with Soundset. Soundset would get the lineup. We would announce it. Yeah. You know, being involved with hosting different things. Also, you know, providing a platform where local businesses, other promoters and stuff like that, we would, you know, airtime, we'd promote other shows, you know. It was fun, man. Yeah. You know, like I think about all types of concerts that you won't see again, you know, Jadakiss, DMX, so many cool shows, you know. Russ, the first time, nobody had seen him. Look at how big he blew up, you know what I mean? Like, so many moves like that, you know. Logic, the first time, like, people were like, who? Yeah, Logic. He was in the studio. I was next to him. I was playing his instrumental. He was doing the Rubik's Cube freestyling. Yeah. Like, those moments, you know. Lizzo. We broke Lizzo. Come on, man.
Yeah, Go 95 had a lot of legendary, you know, like, interviews. Like, it was almost like, the more I learned about it, like, as I got old, or as I grew into the scene, you know, after being here for a couple of years, I was, like, finding out that there was all these artists that came to the studio and did on-the-air interviews, and I was like, if only there was maybe, I don't know, like, someone in Go 95 where their job was to start the YouTube channel or something and to have the video of everything.
Right.
Because that was obviously where the future came, was like the Breakfast Clubs and stuff like that, where they had the video of everything. They were doing, you guys are doing the same shit.
We had the content. We didn't necessarily start the YouTube platform right away. We should have. And we did have the content and it was there, but a lot of it was used on the website and whatnot, but it could have been used more for social. Our social was decent, but I definitely learned a lot about social, and that's really when I caught my wave with social media, and just kind of like the do's and don'ts, and the how to get it lit and how to stay consistent, and I still use a lot of those tricks to this day, man.
Yeah. Like radio, like I don't really listen to the radio much anymore unless it's like sports broadcast or like, you know, like sports anything really. Like I'm not much of a music listener on the radio nowadays, but like there was a time where I was. Every time I got in the car, or my parents were playing the radio, I turned the radio on when I first got a car until I got a car that had an aux cord plug in, and then eventually that became what it was.
Yeah.
So there has been a lot of shifts in the music world in the past, 20 years. But speaking on like